Good morning, afternoon, evening. Oh gosh, I even warmed up and my voice is still a little phlegmy. It's the allergies. Hello. Good evening. Excuse me. Hello, Zexu, Jambola, Zon, Ranger. Hi, everybody. Oh god. It's not gonna be hot for y'all who live in warm places, but it is 20 Celsius here, which has been the warmest it's been this year thus far. And I'm already done with it. I carry an umbrella in my bag, and I'm like, I pulled it out to use it for shade, because 20 Celsius isn't too bad, honestly. But when you walk home, uphill, in the sun, and you're wearing leggings and long sleeves because it was mild weather in the morning, it's like, no, something's gotta give. It's too hot. It's like, I'm sweating already. Get me off this. Like, get me out of here. Let's see, what other than that has been going on? It's extra fun when you walk into a Berlin shop. Woof. That's baby heat? Yeah, don't worry. I know how to take care of myself. Wear like sweaters and stuff. Yeah, don't worry. That's why I walk around with the parasol / umbrella. It's one of those things, like, what is it? There's a lot of international / Asian students here. And often in the summer, I would see them with umbrellas for, like, in the summer. And at first I was like, that's silly. There's no way that works. And out of desperation, last summer I tried it. It's shocking how much having shade at all times actually helps you cope with the heat. Nah, I'm bad with heat, so I have plenty of ways to deal with it. I was just gonna say we're gonna go back to the era of slightly inaccurate tracking for Didi, because in the summer, for those who haven't been here, during when I stream in the summer, I use a webcam instead of my iPhone, because webcams generate a lot less heat. You can imagine how much it sucks streaming, sitting in front of all of this equipment that gives off heat. Yeah, I mean, God. And that's the other thing, right? I have a better microphone, so maybe I'll test it and see if I can get rid of it, but God. AC, like trying to stream with AC at the same time, very, very difficult. Because even when you use the filters to try and be like, cut all noise that's below X decibels. If it's too close to your own range, like if the air conditioner is too loud, then every time you speak, the noise is gonna come back. And the AC I have, I can't even sleep with it in the room because it's so loud. So I'm like, yeah, there's no way this is gonna work. Stream breaks in the summer, I go and sit in front of the air conditioner in the living room, and it's just like, ah. The other trick is I'll put like an ice pack in a mug and have like sit with that on like my legs. There's lots of little tricks you can do. Because, yeah, this is an old building. It was built in the 60s? So, definitely was meant to retain heat. Because, you know, back when I was little, like, yeah, summers would get hot, but 32 Celsius was about as high as it would go here in Canada. Getting, like, this 40-degree stuff, yeah, that's new. Our infrastructure was not meant for that. Would putting a fan really far away help? It would. I can... Cause see, and here's the other downside about living in an old building. There are no electrical outlets in the hallway. And there are no, electrical outlets close to the doors of the room. Like, there's one close to the entrance of Rumi-chan's room, but that doesn't obviously help me. So it's not like, you know, some people will do, like, daisy chain of fans to, like, help circulate the cold air. Can't do that. In theory, using an extension cord, you can, but then, you know, you gotta run an extension cord past the front door, because that's the closest, outlet. And so there's a chance someone's gonna trip over it coming in. So it's like, And because of the way the electrical wiring is, like, the closest outlet that's not in my room would be the one in the bathroom. But because the outlet is right beside the sink, you have to have the light on in the bathroom for there to be electricity in that outlet. It's a one-circuit thing. So if you don't leave the light on in the bathroom, there is no power in that outlet. And then you run into the same problem where it's like, well, what if someone needs to use the bathroom? Like, you're gonna have to leave the door open because of the cable. It's like all that stuff. Perfect setup. Welcome to the 60s when they built this and they were like, no one's gonna need any electrical appliances except their TV, their stereo, and an alarm clock. Computers? What the frick is that? Fans? You pansies, it's Canada. It doesn't get hot here. But yeah, no, I can at least run the fan. It's not too loud. And I mean, I can have it plugged in here with me. It's just, you know, it's not as effective as if I had it out in the hallway and it was funneling the cold air from the air conditioner from, like, Rumi-chan's room and, like, the living room into this room. But we'll see. We're in the process of getting all of the windows covered with either curtains, blinds, and or reflective film to try and help keep the place darker and also keep the UV and, like, the heat, the sunlight away, because that's what heats up a place the most. It's the fact that, you know, our apartment faces the sunrise. In theory, that's really nice, because it's like, sure, by the time the sun is at its hottest, it's already moved past our apartment. But when it gets to that, like, you know, the point in the summer where, like, things don't cool down at night, having the sun come up and start heating up your place at 5 a.m. is not nice. Jet turbines as fans? Jesus. We'll see. It's always interesting when the summer comes. I might finally cave and get, you know, like one of the futons. Not like, you know, pull out bed, which is what most Western people think about futons. Like the actual, like, you know, beds you see in anime where they sleep on the floor. Because one time I got so desperate in the summer, I threw my mattress on the ground and I slept like that for most of the summer, and it is significantly colder to sleep on the wooden floor. That's another problem with what is it? With like my setup and like my room and stuff, because I have a box spring and a big thick mattress. But that means I'm above the fan. Most of them, like I'll have to see if I can get a newer fan, like a taller one. But the fan I had last summer and also the air conditioner, I was like sleeping on the bed. I'm higher up than the appliances that are supposed to help keep me cool. So, you know, doesn't actually do shit. And, you know, heat rises, right? So the higher you are when you sleep, the hotter you're gonna be. And since, knock on wood, the roaches seem to be gone, I don't mind sleeping on the floor again. That was a big contender for me, because I'm like, if I wake up in the night and I've got a friend I did not invite, I think I would burn this building down. Surely they can't send me to jail for that, right? Plus, it's having to keep everything clean because, you know, the floor has all the cat litter, like, that gets scattered about as the cats do their business and stuff, so it's multi-factored. But depending how hot this summer is, I may be desperate enough and I'm just like, all right, we're back on the floor, let's go. It's not too bad sleeping that low to the ground. What takes getting used to is having the ceiling be so far away. Okay, so your power went out. Ah, yes. It's time, that delightful time of year when everyone starts running ACs and then we get brownouts and shit. Good times. What else happened today or recently that I can share? Trying to think. You're low-key afraid of the dark? He's the boogeyman. Is this... Did you play FNAF at a really young age? Is that part of the problem? Oh my god, so yes. Nightmare Fredbear? Why were the kids... Why? Okay. Why were y'all kids? You know, good poor Jambola. Why were y'all so... Why were you babies so into freaking Freddy Fazbear's. I remember seeing the toys at Walmart, and I'm like, why? I know 25-year-olds who won't even touch this game. Oh my god. Why would you do this to yourselves? I don't understand. See, back in my day, the scariest thing that existed was Doom and Duke Nukem. Silent Hill wasn't until I was like 8 to 10 years old or something like that, somewhere around there. It's always a Freddy. It's funny that it was the bite of 87, but no one who was obsessed with FNAF was even around in 87. Well, you'll be happy to know, Zexu, Freddy doesn't exist. Not Freddy Krueger, not Freddy Fazbear. Neither of them. So go pee. Go piss in peace. You didn't care? You youngins of the Gen Z have a hard time with separating reality from fiction, huh? Because, I mean, I definitely, like, some stuff I saw as a kid definitely gave me nightmares. But it's not because I thought it was real. I was never under mistaken impression that there were monsters under my bed or anything like that. The real monsters were the scary sounds coming from the floor radiator, because Papa Mellis liked to blast movies at full volume so it would travel up the vents. You'd watch 18+ horror movies, but then be scared by a slightly spooky episode of a kid's show? Y'all. I can't comment on the horror movies. I still don't watch horror movies. But that's because I don't like to be scared. Horror games I like better because... And there's been this theory about why horror games are often less scary for people than the movies, and I agree with it. In horror games, you have power, you have agency, you can take control of the situation. Horror movies, you just have to sit there and watch people make very bad decisions. And that's very difficult for me. No! I will watch horror anime. Sure, we'll watch another. And y'all can all be terrified of umbrellas like I was for a while. Frick the games, yeah, some people are better with the horror movies because they're like, oh, it's not happening to me. Games, it feels like it's happening to me. I'm the opposite. I'm like, you gave me the tool to fix this situation. Because, you know, I'm a problem solver, I'm a peacekeeper. The hardest thing for me is not being able to fix problems. So it's like, I would rather... Would I be able to kill zombies? Probably not. If given the option, would I rather sit on the other side of the fence and watch people get attacked? Or try and kill the zombies? I would try and kill the zombies. Can't wait for Umbrella. Can't wait for another to eventually come up. Oh, it'll come up. Even if I have to pick it myself as one of the as one of the like series I pick for curation because unironically I love another. Shiki as well. I was so happy to see people suggesting Shiki. No one but me voted for it, but I'm like, that's okay. I'll just pick it myself sometime. Everyone knows the umbrella, but there's actually an amazing anime around it. Exactly. And also, another thing that at some point I will pick as a series for us to watch, I just need to find it, like, is, so Shiki, the series was written based on, like, novels that were written by, Fuyuno Ono, who is the wife of, Yukito Ayatsuji, who is the guy who wrote Another. She also wrote another series called, what was it? Ghost Hunt? Something like that? About, teams, like, going to, like, you know, like those shows where they go to, like, paranormal, like, haunted spots and try and find the ghosts. In this case, they actually found ghosts and shit. I really liked that one as well. She's crazy, crazy, chat? Ah, not really. Never saw it, but I think I recall a scene with a truck or something in Shiki. I'm trying to remember. Because there is a moving truck and some other stuff, but yeah. It's been a while since I've watched Shiki, but I really love it. I haven't posted the next series in the Discord yet, but since we're talking about stuff, I'll tell you. Because the one I'm recommending is, like, one of my the one I'm forcing you guys to watch, rather, is one of my all-time favorite series. I always put it on my list when people ask, like, what's your favorite anime? And I only say this because there's slight horror in it. Yeah. Well, we started alternating between audience pick and DD curated because it was really hard to get people to vote basically every 2 weeks because that's how quickly you get through 12-episode series. But yeah, it's one of my favorite anime of all time is Shinsekai Yori. In English, it's To the New World. It's about, like, 25 episodes. About, like, it's like, oh yeah, so humans developed psychic powers, society fell to ruins, and this is, like, you know, the wonderful, peaceful society that came about afterwards. Humans totally aren't still fucked up or doing crazy things or whatever. They totally are. The novel for Shinsekai Yori never came out in English officially, but someone did a fan translation. I still reread those PDFs quite often. I really love that series. So yeah, when I was like, what am I gonna make you guys pick? And then my brain's like, oh, I know. Because I think you guys would like Shinsekai Yori, but not a lot of people know about it anymore because at this point it's getting pretty old. The tragedy of stuff coming out in, like, you know, the early 2010s nowadays. Alright, I've yapped enough. Let's get over here. Whoop. Alright. Let's see if we can finish this. We probably will. It's just a matter of, how long it takes, because I do believe we're in, like, the final sort of segment of these cases, but of course, sometimes, you know, the end of the game can take 6 million years. We'll find out. I swear, if it says middle still, the save file. Oh my god, it really does still say middle. What is this case? Why is it so insanely long? Alright. Here we go! During the bubblies... Right, we were starting just when the testimony was kicking in. Alright. During the first Bubbly's fire. During the second fire, I was searching for the Yatagarasu that had appeared in Babal. Babal. While I was searching, I heard a scream from the next room over. Although I was in the next room, I was unable to catch a glimpse of the Yatagarasu. To be honest, I'm actually very skeptical that girl's Yatagarasu even exists. Well, aren't you nice? And that is all I have to say. But I'm not lying when I said I saw the suspicious person run into Mr. Kochin's office. Like I said earlier, I have no intention of retracting my testimony. Good. Just to confirm, did you have a partner when you were on your investigation? No, I moved alone. In that case, you have no one to corroborate your alibi. Is that correct? Another fist! Are you calling her suspicious because she was in a room by herself? How pathetic. Look, we're just establishing the facts. Chill. And it wasn't when Agent Sheena tried to arrest Kay under the same rationale? It's like, ew. It's like, alright, maybe I jumped the gun a bit. And how about when you accused Larry because he was the weapon's owner? Not that it's unexpected for that useless lump to get into such a situation. Rest in peace, Larry. Although, I suppose it's never a good idea to let mistakes go uncorrected. I will make no excuse for what I did in that situation. Then you should apologize right now for making Kay out to be the killer, pal. I'm sorry. Sheena, apologize. I'm sorry. It's really okay. I mean, I'm not under suspicion anymore. Right, Mr. Edgeworth? Well, I never doubted you. Not for 1 second. Well, isn't that cute? And the same goes for me. I believe in Sheena. Well, one of you's gonna be wrong, and this is going to be very awkward. Then let's put that trust to the test and see if she really is worthy of it. This promises to be interesting. Girl is a little crazy. Sheena's movements. During the first Bubbly's fire, I insisted on I assisted, not insisted. She insisted they put out the fire. They were just gonna let it burn. They were like, isn't that how it goes? Bird, baby, bird, it's going fair. No. Alright. What evidence do we have again? I think I know where we're going with this. God, we got so much. Let's try to get fire. You were unable to catch even a glimpse despite being in the next room? Is that true? I really hate to repeat myself. Well, alright. But Dee Dee, why does the chicken cross the road? To get the chicken tenders on the other side. God, that reminds me. Okay, so, when I was walking to work the other day, there were these birds. I don't know what type of bird they were, but they were fighting over the remains of, like, a chicken wing. And then I was like, oh, that's funny. Birds are just like humans. They fight over chicken wings, and then it hits me, and I'm like, the birds are eating birds. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, are you calling Sheena's testimony a lie? Well, I'm not calling her a truther. Agent Lane, I'm talking with Agent Sheena right now. So I'd appreciate if you wouldn't interrupt us with superfluous comments. Have you fools ever heard the term dog eats dog? I have indeed. Aww, you know, I feel kinda bad for him. I understand his pain at watching one of his subordinates being accused. However, I cannot turn my eyes from the truth. Lon, I'm alright. And as for you, I think you should be focusing on your doubts on that girl rather than me. And why is that? Okay. So pressing that literally gave us nothing. On the Babal's side. Okay. Had to check because there's like duplicates of everything in this case. Because the embassy's like a perfect mirrored image on. Objection! Oh, there we go. So how's the crime? I mean, the investigation going good. We literally just switched over from chatting to investigating. So not much has happened, but we're getting into the last bit of the case. I was optimistic we'd finish it today, but then I loaded up the save file, and they're like, and the save file will say, like, you know, beginning, middle, end, to let you know, like, where in the case you are, and we're still in the middle. Hopefully at the, like, end of the middle section, but I know the last cases tend to be quite long, but sheesh. Mr. Prosecutor, I don't see what problem you're talking about at all. Agent Lon, do you recall the secret we discovered about the Alabastrian office fireplace? I love a good investigation. Exactly, it's a good old investigation. Like, there's investigations? That's boring. Investigation sounds different. It sounds new. It sounds interesting. Nahai sete, otsukare-sama deshita. Good job at work. Welcome in. Enjoy your lurk or hanging out, what have you. Oh, you mean how it connects the office with the room next door? What about it? Well, Alabasta isn't the only country with secret connecting fireplaces. Oh, they didn't even establish this yet? I see. You're just hanging outside the office? What? The fireplace in Mr. Coach's office holds the exact same secret. Yet the Yatagarasu did escape through the door to the room or the window. The escape route was through the revolving fireplace wall and into the next room over. What happened there? Something nearly snatched her wig. Can we play that back in slow motion? I didn't even process what happened there. Now, do you see if the Yatagarasu had escaped into the next room? Then the thief would have run straight into Agent Sheena. Meaning that it's impossible for her to have missed the Yatagarasu unless she had her back to the fireplace. Edward now? Yes. This is, the Ace Attorney Investigations, sub-series. So for 2 games, you got to play as Edgeworth doing investigations, and there were no, court cases. You never went to trial for anything. You never actually prosecuted. You did Detective Gumshoe's job instead for a week. Well, would you care to explain, Agent Sheena, how you managed to completely miss the fleeing Yatagarasu, or shall I? Your claim was that you were in the next room was a lie, wasn't it? Dun dun dun. Pretending to be the Yatagarasu, and you were the one she chased after. Gasp! Say it ain't so. Then you shed your coat in the next room, leaving it there to emerge as Agent Sheena. After that, you came back to place K under arrest. The soundtrack is so good. It is. We do love a good Phoenix Wright / Ace Attorney soundtrack. Do 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 do. How dare you make Kay look like the suspicious one when you're the suspicious one, pal? Yeah, how dare you, pal? Sheena? Is that freeze on the BG? Yes. Now, where have we seen that before? That laugh. I remember this irritating laugh. I'm getting chills down my spine. The chills, they're multiplying. I'm losing all control. It can't be. But it has to be. Sheena? What's wrong with you? I'm sorry. It was so funny that I couldn't help but laugh. Funny, you say? Yeah, that you would accuse me of being the Yatagarasu. The prosecutors of this country really are all so very strange. Do you think you can get away with this by simply laughing it off? You think I'm taking this too lightly? I think not. It's that prosecutor who is. Look, everything you said earlier is nothing more than mere speculation. The Yatagarasu fled through the fireplace. Do you have any proof to back up your claim? If you don't, then you haven't proven a thing regarding the Yatagarasu's escape route. The tone of voice you're taking with me now has certainly changed. That's because it's been a while since I've had this much fun. I think I'll let loose, and then we can have a real battle of wits. For an agent of Interpol to show me the true power of her mind, it is a great honor. Don't underestimate me. I'm not some foolish broad, you know. I know. And that is why I won't hold anything back either, as I answer your questions. My question? Here is the proof that the revolving fireplace in the wall in Babal was used recently. That is... the ink, right? Or is it gonna be the stein? Because the whole reason we know... Oh, there we go. Whoops. I meant to read it, but I clicked it. Hopefully that was right. I'm sorry, but is this really your honest answer to my question? Yes. According to Ambassador Poliano's testimony... he said that he was burning some documents in the fireplace with Mr. Cochin. Oh? I very briefly saw the spam before Saribot blocked it, but Stylish Coward, Vicmun for you? That was the username. Okay. Pretends to understand, does not understand. The ashes of what they burned were left in the fireplace, so they should have been there. However, when we went to investigate the room, the ashes weren't there. Why is that a problem? Maybe someone to clean them up after a fire? Come on. Who's cleaning a fireplace after a fire? Unfortunately for you, Ambassador Paliano said that he forgot to. And so the question remains, why were the ashes missing? The answer is simple. When the Yatagarasu went through the fireplace wall, the ashes were pushed into the next room by the wall as well. That's crazy. That's crazy. The movement of the ashes that were in Mr. Kojin's office is my proof. Oh, here she goes again. You doing okay, ma'am? And just what is so funny? Ash as proof? Are you even allowed to submit such flaky evidence in court? Evidence is evidence. You still wish to fight us? Of course. Why wouldn't I? In that case, let's hear your counter-argument. My counter-argument, huh? This really is just like being in court. Well, yeah. Well, to me, we're simply continuing from where we left off all those years ago. I have no idea what you're talking about. Of course not. It doesn't matter if we're at a crime scene or in a court. Let's finish this here and now. I suppose I've had a lot of fun today, but I grow weary of this game of cat and mouse. Let's make this the last testimony and wrap up this absurd case once and for all. My eyes, all you've proved is that the rotating fireplace was used. But you can't really call that proof that the Yatagarasu used the fireplace now, can't you? So then, who was it that used the rotating wall? Show me your answer with real evidence. Remember, we've already finished our very thorough investigation. And we found not a single suspicious thing in Mr. Kojin's office. Yeah, but did you check the other wall? And there you have it. That's it? That's very impressive, is it? You see through the fact that I have yet to gather that one piece of evidence. What is it, Kay? I haven't heard a peep out of you in quite a while now. If you don't think you can handle it, feel free to leave the rest to us. But Kay, pull yourself together. You are the true heir to the Yatagarasu name, are you not? If you want to steal the truth, then you must never take your eyes off it. This chase you're running to catch the truth, you must see it through to the very end. Mr. Edgeworth? You're right. I will see this through. Right to the bitter end! So, you go get her for me, Mr. Edgeworth. With pleasure. Looks like a lack of evidence has left you wide open, doesn't it? Sheena. Please. Show me you're someone I can trust. You're ordering breakfast now? Very nice. Enjoy your brekkie. And yes, a bot got sniped. Don't worry. This will be the deciding match. You'll see. Well then, Agent Sheena, shall we begin? I'm ready whenever you are. Do 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 do. My eyes, all you've proved is that the rotating fireplace was used. But you can't really call that proof. Not a single suspicious thing. That's probably what we gotta challenge, because we found a whole bunch of suspicious stuff. Like the wire in the grandfather clock? Huh. Well, you say that you and your ages have finished your thorough investigation. Are you absolutely certain that you didn't overlook anything? Well, aren't we full of ourselves standing there insulting Interpol agents? You'd better not be insinuating that my men are incompetent, Mr. Prosecutor. I did never do that. However, it doesn't change the fact that they did overlook something. I'd like for you to take a look at this length of wire. And what exactly is that supposed to mean? A length of wire? So, what about it? I'll tell you what, we found this in the Bobbly's embassy not long ago. Do 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 do. You serial? You real? And we found it wound up inside the grandfather clock in Mr. Cochin's office. You found that at the scene of Mr. Cochin's murder? Surprise! But this wire wasn't all we found. We found one other very important thing. There's more? Yes, there's more. In Mr. Cochin's office, there were signs that someone had burned counterfeit bills there. What? We broke out of the testimony! That evidence was something you found out through that girl's machine, right? So what if it was? Ah, that's what I thought. But unfortunately for you, a recreation made by a machine is hardly concrete proof. Among the ashes you found in the room, did you happen to find any counterfeit bills? No. You see? So there was nothing in that office. Nothing you can call evidence anyway. I'm sorry, but I seem to have given you the wrong impression. How so? I don't recall saying that I was presenting evidence of any sort. But rather, I was pointing out that your investigation was incomplete. And that this throws doubt on the purity of your investigation into the Yatagarasu. You still suspect me, I see. Alright then. I ask you that you point out what part of my investigation is incomplete. The other Interpol agents worked under the command of Agent Sheena. And it is not possible that the reason the person K was chasing chose the 3rd floor was because the person knew there would be no other agents on that floor. Furthermore, we've come to see that Agent Sheena was only pretending to be investigating the Yatagarasu to the point of arresting K. In that case, there is one location that no one has yet to inspect. Because they failed to inspect this location. And then... her room. The location, Agent Sheena, is of course the room you claim to have examined. I believe the room next to Mr. Coach's office warrants a thorough inspection. Even if you do that, I doubt you'll find anything of use to you in there. Huh, I won't be the one to decide that. Detective Gumshoe? Yes, sir? I'm on it. I'll be right back after I check out the room next to the office. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, do you really think that Miss Sheena's the Yatagarasu? Yes, if my logic is sound, I believe she is. Then I'm not going to let her get away with ruining the name of the Yatagarasu. You tell him, Kay. But can you prove she's the Yatagarasu is the question. If Detective Gumshoe can find what I'm hoping he will, then it should be enough. What are you hoping he'll find? Let's just say this. I had Detective Gumshoe do a little experiment for me earlier. An experiment? As if that detective has the brains for high science? Sheesh! It wasn't that mentally taxing. I had him use the same escape route as the Yatagarasu. And what did you find out by doing that? First, that it's possible for a person to fit through the revolving wall door. Second, that by going through there, his coat was covered in ash and Bobbly's ink. Who cares what his coat was covered in? It's not worth much anyway. Ah, but is it really worth so little? I believe that is actually quite a meaningful result. the value of which I'm about to prove. Mr. Edgeworth, I found some things you really need to see, sir. Good timing. Oh? So what are these things that you found? Some makeup, and a pair of, some makeup, a coat, and a pair of shoes, sir. Who's took off their shoes? That's weird. You found a coat? You hear that, Mr. Edgeworth? Maybe it's the one the person I was chasing was wearing. Yes, that possibility does exist. Agent Sheena, were these pieces of evidence not in the room when you examined it? Unfortunately for you, those are suspicious items of any sort. They all belong to me. They were getting in the way, so I stored them in that room. Thank you for bringing them to me. It saves me a trip. May I have them back now?
Hold it.
These items that the detective brought back are incredibly significant. Ma'am, why did you take off your shoes? That's kind of weird, you know? They're my personal belongings. So you have no right to touch them without my permission. I'm pretty sure we do if they're...
Objection.
I wish to examine them for the sake of the investigation. But if you wish to deny us access to them, Agent Long, let's hear your opinion on this. I say let them look at your stuff, Sheena. Long? Sheena, let's put it all out in the open. If you're really innocent, then you have nothing to worry about, right? I guess so. Alright, go ahead and examine whatever you'd like. After all, I have nothing to hide. Good, now let us begin. Let's try the coat. Let's examine the coat. Yes, sir! It appears you managed to stain your coat rather badly. Agent Sheena. The Yatagata that Kay saw was wearing a coat. And I'm beginning to wonder if this stain was created when you went through the fireplace. Aha, no, you have it wrong. That soot probably got on my coat when I was helping the police put out the fire. And what about this dark substance around the hem? Oh god, it's blue. Oh, I didn't realize that the hem was that dirty. I'm sure it's just some water mixed with soot from when I was helping out with the fire. I don't think so. You think you can get away with such a transparent lie? She sure does. Yeah, don't lie to us, pal. This is the same pattern of dirt that got on my coat when I went through the fireplace. Your words ring hollow in the absence of evidence, you know. Which I can. But how? You did a great job, Detective Gumshoe. Me? What did I do? This coat. This is exactly the piece of evidence I was searching for. I had been hoping to find the coat that the person Kay saw was wearing. And, thanks to you, we proved that going through the fireplace would sully a coat. I don't quite get what you're saying, sir. It's like, I think it's good. But I'm happy for the praise. All that remains is for us to show what the dark substance on the code hem is. Oh? And you think you can do that? Sure can. Of course I can. This is the dark substance that sullied the hem of the code. Where is it? The Bobbly's ink.
Take that.
Bobbly's ink? Yes, this is what will prove that the code went through the fireplace. According to our ambassador Poliano, he burned some files in the fireplace this morning. You told us about that already, so I don't really see the point in mentioning it again. My point is that he spilled some ink onto the back wall of the fireplace at that time. Pretty crazy. How do you just pour ink into the fireplace? It would prove that you and this code went through the revolving fireplace wall. Sorry to have clipped one of your wings, Yatagarasu, but we're not finished yet. But you have no way of proving whether or not this is Bobbly's ink on the code hem. I think there is a way. You're probably not gonna like it. Because Bobbly's ink turns the fire green. So, we might have to set your code on fire. Oh, but I do. And I intend to show that it is ink in a few seconds. How? How, you ask? Well, since you don't seem to know, allow me to show you. Yep, burn the code. Kind of crazy. I mean, like, you gotta do what you gotta do. But we just straight up burning someone else's property. That's how you're gonna prove that it's Bobbly's ink? Good thing Edgeworth is rich, so he can compensate Sheena for the coat if he is horribly wrong. Oh, they're just gonna cut a section of the code, but still. If you could please cut a section of the dark stained area for me, I'd appreciate it. Because I will show you here and now what the dark substance is. Sheena, sorry to do this, but I'm going to have to cut off a bit of your coat. Go ahead. I wasn't planning to wear it anymore anyway. Now then, if someone could loan me a lighter or something. Oh, I've got some matches! I always carry them with me so I can light smoke bombs. Then if I could please have one, okay? We can get this experiment underway. The flame is green. It's the same color as the flame wit crystal oil produces, which means Bobbly's ink is a product of wit crystal oil. And when lit, the ink produces a green flame. I believe the time has come to clip the Yatagarasu's other wing. Miss Sheena, you're the fake Yatagarasu! You're the one who killed my father! It's about time you came clean, ain't it, Sheena? Or should I say, Callisto, you. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, you're not serious, are you? Do I look like the joking type to you? Callisto, you? Have never heard that name before in my life. That manner of speaking and that attitude, you haven't changed a bit in 7 years. You're the defense attorney that killed Mr. Faraday and then tried to frame me for it. Oh, really? And you have proof? I mean, if you're wearing a wig instead of having cut and dyed your hair, we just need to snatch your wig. You insist that I am this Callisto you woman, but you can't prove it. If you have no proof, then I'm afraid you won't be able to lay a single finger on me. The raven is a very unique bird, one that flies by the darkness of night. However, the light of dawn has arrived, and it will reveal your true ugly form to the world. Enough poetry! I want to see some evidence! Do you really have something that can prove that she is Callisto you? I do. It's something that the second Yatagata has preserved for us these last 7 years. Do me the honor, Mr. Edgeworth. I will, okay? For we have finally come to the end.
Take that.
This perfume. This will prove you to be Callisto you. It will? Yup. Kay has preserved it perfectly. Surely you remember this bottle? This belonged to Miss Yu just before she disappeared 7 years ago. Naturally, this means a few of her fingerprints are on here as well. This is the bottle of perfume you spilled, which I have preserved ever since. Preserving fingerprints for 7 years is quite impressive. I heard from my father, Brian Faraday, that if stored under the right conditions, a fingerprint can be preserved for decades. Which means that your fingerprints are still on here. Every last one. Well, this is awkward. We can clear everything up if we were to compare your fingerprints. Now come, Agent Sheena, will you submit yourself to a fingerprint test? I don't think she's gonna let us fingerprint her, guys. Oh, dear God! She is, she's not doing well. It looks like you've seen through me, right through me yet again. You're sending the biggest chill down my spine, Edgeworth. Callisto, you! So you've shown your true face at last. This feeling of thrill is even greater than it was 7 years ago. Sheena, you're... Lon, I really enjoyed our days together. You're an insanely strong, nice, kind-hearted idiot of a man. So you were a spy all along? A mole sent by the smuggling ring I've been chasing after? Someone who has been feeding them intel on Interpol all this time? Very good. Maybe you're not as big of an idiot as I thought. Imagine being a mole for, like, almost a decade. Callisto, you, the woman who killed my father 7 years ago, is like, yep, that's me. Don't wear it out. You're her, aren't you? The fake Yatagarasu. That's right, Callisto Yu. That's just one of my many names. But even that is just a facade. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am the great thief Yatagarasu. Callisto Yu, this time you won't escape. For this is the end of the road for you. Now come along quietly. You know, you're the one who left the strongest impression on me, Kay Faraday. And had you not used the Yatagara's gadgets, I might have never known who you were. But here you are, being a thorn in your side, just like your father always was. Kay, don't! You? I'll never forgive you what you did to my father. You really are just like him. Mr. Faraday, too, possessed such laughable honesty. Wow, what a shock, a hostage situation. You let Kay go right now, pal. You despicable. Let go of me, you filthy. You think I'm a fake, don't you? Well, unfortunately for you, I'm the real Yatagarasu. But that's impossible. My father was the one who created Little Thief. Hey, Edgeworth. The Yatagarasu has 3 legs. Do you know why that is? Why it has 3 legs? First, always knows the exact location of the target object. Second, the Yatagarasu always knows exactly how to disarm the security system. No, it can't be! Did you finally figure it out? Do you finally know the real identity of the Yatagarasu? The real identity of the Yatagarasu is... it's neither. It's all of them. The real identity of the Yatagarasu is neither Brian Faraday nor Callisto Yu. But by the same token, they are also both the real Yatagarasu. Haha. How very perceptive of you. No way! The single person known as the Great Thief Yatagarasu never existed. Mr. Edgeworth? No, I refuse to believe this. The Yatagarasu is known to have 3 special skills. Skill number 1. The Yatagarasu always knows the exact location of the target object. And a lawyer would have the opportunity to learn the layout of client corporations. Skill number 2. The Yatagarasu always knows exactly how to disarm the security system. And a good prosecutor would be well versed in the ways of a criminal. And skill number 3. The Yatagarasu doesn't leave a single shred of evidence behind. Ever. Oh, he finally has a real gun! It's not the mirror this time. Detective Bad! It was only natural for the Yatagarasu to never leave evidence behind, because the lead detective on the case hid it all away. Damn. You're the 3rd member of the Yatagarasu? I mean, 3 legs. You. I've been looking for you for a long time. 7 long years. But I finally got you. You know, this OST track is very inappropriate for this scene. Why does it feel like we're about to go dancing? It doesn't feel like we're having a hostage situation here. Aha! Why, Mr. Bud, long time no see. What happened to us? We used to be such a great team. If you were such a great team, then why did you kill my father 7 years ago? Why indeed. It was nothing personal, really. It was just another person I had to kill. How can you say that? I grow weary of this. And it's about time for everything to come to an end. And this time, I won't miss. Stop! You! It's over, Sheena. Oof! What a show off. So tried to shoot her in the leg to disarm her, and this guy took it in the leg himself to disarm her? What were you thinking, you idiot? Literally. What are you risking your life for? I'm sorry, Detective Bad. But no matter what past she may have had, or even if she is a spy, it doesn't change the fact that she is my subordinate. And as long as she is, I can't allow any harm to come to her. You really are an idiot, you know that? That's fine with me. You should know by now that this is just how I am. Coolest character in the franchise. And he was never seen again. I'm pretty sure he's only in the first, Ace Attorney Investigations too. Let's see. Is he gonna be in the second game? Probably not. Do 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 do. Oh no, it looks like he's in the second one. Well, that's nice at least. Edgeworth always means a pretty boy opposite him. Yes? I want you to conduct a full body search. Sheena might have another weapon on her. Alright. Detective Gumshoe, your assistance, please. Sir! Hey, I found something. Wasn't the whole point of asking Francisca to do the full body search is because it's, like, supposedly better if a woman body searches another woman, but apparently Gumshoe just got his hands in there? What is this, sir? It looks like the blade of a knife, but it doesn't have a handle. This is a great find, Detective. Huh? It is? Let's try pairing this blade up with this handle.
Take that!
I believe this blade actually belongs with the handle that was on the murder weapon. Hey, they fit together perfectly. This blade must have been taken from the crime scene when the knife handles were switched. I'm going to go return this Bobbly's knife now. Alright, I trust that you'll make sure that it's returned to Ambassador Palliano. Police knife handle given to Detective Gumshoe. I believe this makes it perfectly clear who did it, Callisto. You. For the only time the handles could have been switched is just after Mr. Cochin's murder. Aha! Which means that you must be Mr. Cochin's killer. Kills Mr. Cochin with the Alabastian knife. We're playing Clue in here. It was Callisto Yu in the office with the knife. You may or may not have fallen asleep. Yeah, tends to happen in Diana streams. Switched the handles and then took the original blade of the Bobbly's knife with you. It's an EB package deal, it sure is. Later, you allowed yourself to be spotted by Kay near the open air stage. You used the fireplace to lose her, and then you went back to accuse her of the murder. Does that about sum it up?
Objection.
Wow, we actually heard her voice. That's crazy. Huh. You craft an engaging tale, Edgeworth, but there are two problems with it. Problems? In what respect? What do you think my real reason was in allowing her to chase after me? It was also I could capture Kay Faraday. What? When I saw you using that device at Gatewater Land, I knew right away that you were Byrne Faraday's daughter. I became curious, so I researched a little into your background. That's how I found out that you were on the trail of the Yatagarasu. So that's why you tried to pin Mr. Cochin's murder on me? Yes, I knew you would show up at this embassy tonight. So I thought to use you, but pinning the murder on you wasn't my goal. You had another? Huh, yeah. And once I had you under arrest, I had planned to search you and take back the device that rightfully belongs to me, the true Yatagarasu. You were going to take Little Thief? 7 years ago, it was thanks to that device that Faraday was able to infiltrate this place. But he stole more than he should have. I had a tough time recovering that precious key. Then the person who stole the Yatagarasu's key was Mr. Faraday? That incident 7 years ago. What was the catalyst behind it? In the eyes of the smuggling ring, the Yatagarasu was becoming a bit of a problem. It wasn't an especially pleasant assignment. Then why? Why did you become a member of the Yatagarasu? Why? There is no why. I was destined to betray everyone from the very beginning. From the beginning? What's that supposed to mean? The person I take orders from hasn't changed. Even now, to this day. Does this mean that the leader of the smuggling ring wasn't Mr. Cochin? Then the real ringleader is still out there pulling the strings. Are you done asking what you need to know? Because if so, we should probably get going. You're going to tell me everything you did tonight. Do you understand, Sheena? Huh, I guess I should tell you then that I was the one who set the Bobbly's embassy on fire. Well, that's another crime to add to your list, and why did you do that? I suppose it was to destroy all the evidence of the counterfeit bills. That was what the smuggling ring was trying to do, but then why start two fires? Sorry, but I can't tell you anything about the ring. It's your job to complete your investigation, after all. I've had my fun. But it's your turn to enjoy the ride. Wait, you... I mean Miss Sheena. Yes? When I fell to the floor earlier, these fell at my feet. What about them? They're such pretty hair sticks that I thought, well, that I should return them to you. Huh, you can have them. They're of no use to me anymore. If you don't want them, you can always just throw them away. No, I want to keep them. Huh, suit yourself. Oh, that's right. I almost forgot, Edgeworth. About the second problem I had with your story. I didn't kill anyone tonight. What? I'm not saying that as a sore loser. Think of it as a hint, if you will. Mr. Prosecutor? Yes? I have a name, you know. You don't need to keep calling me Mr. Prosecutor. Mark my words, I'm not done here, and I'll be back. And it's got nothing to do with duty or anything, because this has become my personal case. I may have been shot, but I'll show you just how dangerous a wounded wolf can be. How about you get some first aid first? His anger appears to have negated the sensation of pain in his injured leg. As he limps off, all cool-like. It's finally over, Kay. I feel like I've peered into her heart a little, you know? It's so cold and dark. The person who was giving her all these commands. The one who thought my father was a problem to be removed. That person is the real ringleader behind the smuggling ring. Mr. Edgeworth, I have a favor to ask. Can you hold on to these hair sticks for me? They're really pretty, just like the ones they were selling for the Jammin' Ninjas show. But until this case is over, I don't think I can look at them without being overcome. I understand. I'll take good care of them for you. There's a bit of soil stuck on the end of these. Oh, then I guess it's that time already, huh? So it's midnight, the dawn of another day. Hey, Pops, thanks a bunch. You've really done a lot for everyone all these years. Detective Bad, don't tell me today is the day. Yeah, it is. With this, I can retire in peace. It was down to the wire, and we almost didn't make it. But we did it. We solved everything. He's not gonna go to jail for being the Yatagarasu and helping them, like, hide evidence. The ringleader of the smuggling ring, you, the Yatagarasu, were chasing after. The legend of that Yatagarasu is now over. Mr. Edgeworth, that bit of logic earlier, it was brilliant. I feel like I can leave it all in your hands. I'm counting on you. Is it really true, Uncle Bad? Were you also part of the Yatagarasu? As I said to you earlier, Kay, I'm truly sorry. I wanted nothing but a peaceful life for you. Uncle Bad? Hey, don't take it so seriously. It's all just one big joke, right? Gumshoe. Unfortunately, it isn't. Oh, come on, sir. Sir, she's just yanking my chain, right? Isn't she? Detective Bad, wait. You're no longer a detective. I'd like to ask you about the Yatagata, Sue. Not you too, Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth, here. I should give these back to you. Oh, from our binder. The pages from my KG8 case files. Is heavy breathing in the original trilogy? Oh no. Mr. Edgeworth, I must apologize for last night. So the Yatagarasu who stole into my room was you, was it? Wait, then that means what? Tell me it's not true. That's too insane for me to believe, sir. It's true, even if it's not something you want to hear. The KG8 incident was a very emotionally trying case. Oh, actually, still early before ad break, but I gotta go take an idol meeting. I mean, go to an idol meeting, you know. So I will be right back. So hold tight for uno momento. Hydrate, yes, indeed. Alrighty, I will be right back. Whoop. Oh, okay, I'm back. One sec. Hello, we back. Alrighty. Welcome back. Thank you, Amatis. Whoops, where's my headphones? There we go. How do you say un momento in French? Un moment. Un moment, s'il vous plaît. Basically the same, just no O. So it's U-N-M-O-M-E-N-T. Might be an E instead of an O. I was always terrible at spelling in French. But yeah, it's just un moment. You could also say like 1 minute, une minute. Oh, mama. Hey! Like O sounds like O, yeah. I mean, very rarely you would hear it as anything other than lo or do. Since you almost always use a consonant, like a le, la, der, du in French. And when it's, most of the time, if the start of the word is a vowel, you will drop one of the letters. And that's why j'aime is j'aime and not je aime. We stood in that courtroom, Faraday as the prosecutor, and I as the lead detective. Faraday had evidence in his possession that would prove the defendant guilty. However, because it was stolen, the defendant was found innocent. Who stole the evidence? You was the elder sister of the victim in the case. When the defendant was pronounced not guilty, she let out a great wail. Oof. That's when we realized that there was a limit to what the law could do. The only way to bring someone like that to justice was to do so outside the courts. That's what we thought at the time. And that's how we formed the Yatagarasu and vowed to bring light any dirty dealings companies had with the rain, including companies that dealt with the Amano group. Mr. Amano's conglomerate. We called ourselves the Yatagarasu and flexed our collective muscle. We exposed all sorts of shady dealings as a warning to the business world as a whole. By doing that, we were able to stop the higher-ups from covering things up. And then, it was finally time. We had arrived at the moment when we'd find out the ringleader's true identity. It was then that you literally stabbed us in the heart. And Faraday, he died for it. But why? Wasn't she the sister of the victim of the KG8 incident? After Faraday's death, I looked into her past. And that's when I found out that she was a phony. The victim of the KG8 incident, CCU. She never had a sister. No one found that out while doing a background check on the victim. Wouldn't that be like standard procedure? Top secret info right there, right? Like, was this girl an orphan or something? Like, she had no relatives to be like... What do you mean, a sister? She never had a sister. Then that means... Sheena wasn't the only fake name she used. Callisto U was also another pseudonym. And how did she get into the prosecutor's office? How thoroughly did she fake her identity to be able to prosecute cases? Like... I'm pretty sure you need to do like a criminal record check and all kinds of stuff like that. Because I mean, at least for me, for some of the jobs, like, you know, if you work with children or in the food industry and stuff like that, in some cases you need like a vulnerable sector check and like all that stuff. Do they not need to do that stuff? Can anyone just freaking get a diploma and be a prosecutor? They let Godot prosecute and no one knew his face? Look, that is also an issue there. That is also an issue. We've talked about that before. In the case of Godot, though, at least he would have passed the bar exam back in the day when he was Diego Armando. So at least he was technically licensed. He was using a fake name, but... At the very beginning, that woman was a spy sent by the smuggling ring. She said it herself. I was destined to betray everyone from the very beginning. You could just walk into court and say, Gramps, give me a job, and the judge would just vouch for you. Literally, this country. They're like, we had to speed up the judicial system because cases were taking too long. Yeah, that's because you're not vetting your lawyers and prosecutors to make sure they are actually barred. Like, no wonder the cases are taking so long when people are incompetent. It's pretty dystopic how cases are only 3 days long. Yep. And they take them to court so fast, too. Like, okay. If, like, you had months to investigate, but once, like, you know, the case was put on the court docket, it would you only had 3 sessions in court. That would still be pretty dystopian, but a little bit better. It's the fact that they're like, oh yeah, literally, you literally got a day before we take this to the court. And it's like, they're in court all day, and then they have to go investigate more stuff because they didn't have time to investigate before. You have the right to an attorney if you cannot afford one. Some random person will take over. You ain't wrong. Like, Furio Tigre got into court and impersonated Phoenix, right? By just finding a very similar suit to his and making a cardboard badge. Bro, you have, like, connections to the mafia and shit. Couldn't you have at least gotten a real one forged? Like, or at least, like, one that looked more, like, at least metal? And literally, whenever anyone tried to confront him about whether or not what he was doing, he would just intimidate them and they'd let it go. Please use it wisely. Trump card? That photo that we stuck on there. Try peeling it off. Behind it slumbers a piece of evidence that Faraday hid away all those years. Oh god, I'm combining. This is also a world where a prosecutor carries a whip to the courtroom and uses it on witnesses. Also, Godot threw scalding hot coffee at Nick many times. And we know it was scalding because Nick talked about how it burned. Nick has been assaulted in court multiple times by the prosecution, and the judge does nothing. WWE courtroom? I literally made my own OC for Phoenix Wright way back in the day. Her name was Lydia Pent Up. And she had, literally, like, you know, how the prosecutors would, like, attack the defense from the other side. She was the opposite. She was a defense lawyer who had, like, a hair-trigger temper. So she was often, like, picking up the courtroom furniture and threatening to throw it. Because the WWE courtroom comment made me remember her. This is a directives card from the big boss. Take a look at the back. This was something Kochin had on him at the time of the KG8 incident 10 years ago. That blood is from the victim. She'll be coming in with the steel chair. Lydia, yes. What would my in-universe name be? Something like Felina Familia? I guess it would be something like that, yeah. Or... possibly something like that, but I mean, Apollo and Athena are two characters in the follow-up games, and their names come from mythology similar to the way Diana does. So if anything, my name would be like Artemis Felina or something like that. Because Diana is the Roman name for Artemis. Why is the card adorned with the mark of the Yatagarasu? The reason why we called ourselves the Yatagarasu was because of the three-legged raven mark that the smuggling ring's boss used. Apparently, orders from the boss would come on these cards without fail. The person who received the order was supposed to burn it immediately after reading it. And apparently, it burns a bright green flame when set ablaze. So you mean the cards were written in Bobley's ink? The fact that the card that Kochin was sent made it into Faraday's hand at all. It's nothing short of a miracle. We decided that whenever we stole anything, we would send a card along with it to the police. So that's what those white cards were. The great thief that used the mark, that only those within the ring would know. It was our message to the ringleader that we were only a few steps behind. Dun dun dun. And one more thing, Detective Gumshoe. I'm entrusting this to you, the lollipop? Oh, the videotape. I don't want it. This is what I was talking about earlier. During the KG8 incident trial, Faraday had this in his possession. You keep it. It's like, no, man, I'm good. I don't need your lollipop. This important, definitive piece of evidence. But I thought it was stolen. How do you have it? The person who stole it from us 10 years ago was a man by the name of Ernest Amano. And he had it locked and hidden away for all this time. But we forced him to tell us where it was finally. After the other day's kidnapping case. Oh, did you torture him? Did you torture him? Don't come any closer, I'm warning you! Yes, the other Prince of Tennis. There is the Yomahoshi Prince of Tennis, and there's Jacques Portman, the other Prince of Tennis. Yeah, it would seem that even he was caught up in the ring's web. Amano was preparing to take on the boss someday, and that video was his insurance. That's where that prosecutor comes in. He was to retrieve the video. On top of that, he was apparently instructed to sneak into your office and steal the trump card. You saw it for yourself, right? The card that told him to preserve the evidence. And that card was not the calling card of the Yatagarasu, but rather a directives card from the ringleader to Mr. Portsman. The two pieces together make for a strong weapon for whoever holds them. The evidence Mr. Portsman thought to withhold from me. And the one that you stole from my office last night. Both pieces are illegal, and for me to use either one is... Whether you use them or not is up to you. Coming from the dude who used to forge evidence, being like, I can't use this, it's not admissible in court, is wild. But they will be of help to you when you take on someone who is above the law. Is the boss one of those who cannot be brought to court that Mr. Faraday spoke of? I mean, I'd imagine so. Literally, he did it all. And, like, he's turned over a new leaf. He doesn't do that anymore, but he only stopped that, like, 3 years ago. Like, there are law undergrads who haven't even graduated from their Bachelor's of Arts in the time that Edgeworth was forging evidence and then decided not to do that anymore. You still insist that even now you really are something else. Thanks, my boyfriend taught me not to break the law. I leave the rest in your hands. I'm gonna retire because no one's arresting me. Lucky me. Oh, never mind. He's like, take me away. I'm surprised. Now then, the handcuffs. It's time to lock up the last remaining member of the Yatagarasu. Pops. Don't ever lose your detective spirit. Pops, why is this happening? This isn't justice. You said you were retiring. You're supposed to go to the Bahamas. Like I always told you, don't get emotionally involved. Now let's go. Yeah, sure. The sprite where it looks like Baz reaches for his gun, yeah, then he just pulls out a mirror. Is this really the end of a legend? No, it's just the beginning. Dun, 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 dun. Ladder, the videotape's testimony. So I guess this is the final section then? Hooray! Won't be finishing this case tonight, but we're getting close. So now we know who the Yatagarasu really is. And yet, there remains much to this case that needs to be resolved. Like how the weapons crossed country lines, for example. The two countries have incredibly strict security systems and entry procedures. Short of a miracle, it's impossible for someone to have smuggled them in. Smuggling them in, huh? You'll need to open a new line of investigation on just this aspect alone. For some reason, my brain was like, a new line of credit? Really? You could just do that? But before we do, I would like to go through my evidence once more. Unnecessary evidence has been removed. Remaining evidence has been rearranged. Hey, there's a VCR here, sir! Now we can see what's on the tape the Detective Bad gave us. A piece of evidence from the KG-8 incident, hidden from us for all these years. Do, 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 do. I just know that this is related to the current case somehow. Detective Gumshoe? If you please, play that tape for us. Sure thing, sir! Sorry, it's just... Dude's just standing there with all the evidence. He's like, I've got a knife, and I've got my instructions. I'm ready to go. And he's holding a knife. This looks like footage from a security camera at the entrance of an apartment building. Apartment building? How do you figure that? Unlike you, I actually read the summary file. Do we have the summary file? Can I read it? Oh yes, the blood on the back. No, apparently we don't get to read the summary file, at least not yet. Imagine, yep, the Magatama took us pretty long to get a normal lawyer. Yeah, and it was technically Phoenix's ancestor who was the most normal lawyer of the bunch. Because, I mean, even Apollo, he was like, oh yeah, I have this magic bracelet that whenever someone lies in my presence, it shrinks so it gets tight around my arm and I know they're lying. Athena? She had the power of criminal psychology on her side. But she still had, like, this little AI dude that would be like, beep, beep. I've detected changes in the micro expression. They are lying. The only one who truly used his wits was Ryunosuke Naruhodo, Ryuichi Naruhodo / Phoenix Wright's ancestor. So this footage was shot at the entrance to the victim's own apartment building? At the trial, Mr. Faraday claimed this piece of footage existed. Also, this is why, y'all should live in an apartment building that has either a security man at the door or has, like a secured entrance. So some murderer can't just walk in off the street and go knock on your door. However, no one could find it. Yes, somehow someone was able to steal it and hide it through Ernest Amano. I can see how this would have been a definitive piece of evidence. Yeah, no shit. But it's a piece of evidence from a 10-year-old case. There's no way it's related to this. You don't know that. Actually, I believe it has everything to do with the case. The ringleader even went so far as to use Mr. Portsman to retrieve it. Which means in this video lies a very inconvenient bit of footage to the ringleader. Where? Where? Wait, what was that? Huh? That bit you played just now. Please show it again. This car. Oh, fuck. Who goes to pick up a murderer in a car with frickin' embassy flags on it? This is really dumb. Why is that, sir? Oh, come on, the flags.
Take that!
This is the national flag of the Principality of Cadopia. And because it has the flag, we know it to be an official government car. But the question we should be asking ourselves is, what was a government car doing there? Oh, Mr. Von Clement, Miss Von Clement, Mr. Edgeworth. So you were here all this time. Ambassador Alba. Thank you very much for continuing the investigation, even at this time of night. If only I was even a tiny bit more careful. This tragedy would never have happened. I am truly sorry. This wasn't your fault, sir. This has nothing to do with how careful you were. You idiot curses! You couldn't chase after a simple thief. Now then, let's get down to the real reason why I came looking for the two of you. I would like you to put the investigation on hold for a while. Can you do that? Excuse me? I heard you apprehended the thief that turned this embassy upside down. And we are in the middle of an event celebrating our country's reconciliation. We can't exactly have the police and detectives walking around here forever. You're scaring the visitors away, so I hope that you can understand how I feel. But we must finish our investigation and resolve the remaining issues. Why don't we leave the rest to the Alabastian and Bobolese police? Ambassador, we are so close. Just a little more and... Miss Von Karma, I'm afraid I've made up my mind. And without my permission, you can't proceed with your investigation anyway, right? guess. That's true, however. You said at the very beginning, this area can be considered to be Alabastrian soil. In which case, we are nothing but foreigners in their land. Is this really where our investigation ends? Shifu! We found Mr. Edgeworth, sir! Shifu, this way! We literally did not leave. Yo! He's still limping. Agent Lon, you're back on the scene rather quickly. If I laid back and took a break, I'd lose the scent of my prey, Mr. Prosecutor. Please tell me you at least got first aid for the gunshot wounded your leg. Because I have to solve this case no matter what. Well, I'm sorry to inform you. And don't take this the wrong way, I don't suspect you personally. However, a member of Interpol was just found to be a thief, and so... Under these circumstances, I wish to put your investigation on hold. After all, I believe our own police can handle things from here. They are quite capable. At this rate, our investigation really will come to a close. Huh. Oh, there he goes. Ambassador Alba, I get it now. I really do. Oh, I'm very glad you understand how I feel. No, not that. What I was talking about is... I know who the killer is behind tonight's murder. You. No! The killer? Did you really mean that, Agent Lane? Is there a stutter in here? Wolves don't lie. Then who is it? Well, let me first say that I'm not talking about Mr. Cochin's murder. That was all Sheena. Lanzi says the truth lies not at the exit, but rather shines outside the maze itself. The truth is unexpectedly simple. So let me ask you this. Who do you think was Damas Second's killer? I'll tell you who. It was you, Francisco von Karma! This feels like it's all like a ploy of some kind. I was the killer? Hey, wait, but that's impossible! Yeah! Although that whip is actually quite... Ow! Hold your tongue in that ludicrous remark you were about to make. Agent Long, are you seriously accusing her of murder? Yeah, I am. He doesn't appear to be joking. Hey, sis, I remember that just before Ambassador Alba went to give his speech. He called you into his office, right? Yes, he did, but what does that have to do with anything? I'm getting to that. Furthermore, in order to solve both cases, you moved around rather freely between Alabasta and Bobal, did you not?
Objection!
But where is your evidence?
Now go back.
I was just getting to that. Trust me, I'll show them to you in due time. Oh boy. Ambassador Alba, in order for me to bring this case to a close, I'll need to inspect your office one more time. Will you grant me permission? So it was all a ruse. With things as they are, I suppose I don't have much of a choice, do I? Good, then let's move out. Oh, and don't even think about running away, sis. My pack will be keeping a close eye on you. You can bet your bottom dollar on that. As if I would have any reason to flee. But just so we're clear, your logic had better be sound. Because I'll accept nothing short of a perfect explanation. She seems rather upset. Not that I blame her. I expected that you'd accept no less. But we'll see how long you can keep that nose of yours stuck up in the air like that. She can do it forever, trust me.
Hold it.
Agent Long, as someone related to tonight's case, I request that you allow me to take part. And so that I may clean up my superior's mess. I guess I should. The more the merrier, especially when it's the peanut gallery. Oh, in that case, I want to join in too. I still haven't seen what it looks like in Alabasta yet. You're like, hey, and then you gotta let me in too, pal. I can't sit around and do nothing when Miss Von Karma's in trouble. Hey, Gummy, let's have a competition to see who can save her first, okay? Okay, I'll take you up on that. Oh yeah, I'm fired up and raring to go. As a detective, I don't think this is supposed to be something you're supposed to be excited over. Sounds like this is gonna get real interesting. Ambassador Alba, I'll be bringing these kids along for the ride. Very well. But I'd like you to keep in mind that this will be your last chance. I'll have this whole mess cleaned up before you know it. Now let's go. Oh God, 1 a.m. Okay, now let's go over the facts one more time. Manny Cochin's body was found over in the Secretariat's office in Babal. The weapon that took his life was one of Alabasta's ornamental knives. And then the body of Damas II, Mr. Kashino, was found here in the Alabastian ambassador's office. Through our investigation, we found that the murder weapon was the Prima Duck statue. And that this is actually Babal's statue. This case, no matter how I look at it. Sis, if it wasn't you, then there's no one else who could have pulled this off.
Objection!
Agent Long, do you understand the full implications of what you're saying? Of course I do, sis. Stop calling her sis. You were on the trail of the smuggling ring, and you wanted any evidence you could find. Well, she is a Von Karma, unfortunately. That's when you two ran into each other. You and that other thief who took advantage of the confusion from the fire.
Objection!
Even if that were all true, how do you explain the movements of the weapons? Huh, don't worry. I plan to show that you're the culprit behind that too. You had permission to investigate both embassies at will. With that kind of free reign, you could have easily taken the weapons across country lines. Hey now! He grabbed the whip! Someone finally stopped Francisca Von Karma! I am literally in shock. That's crazy! First of all, those are some freaking insane reflexes. this case isn't directly tied to the smuggling ring. But Sheena certainly is. He is right in saying that she is a member. However, the connection between this case and the ring... Could it not be deeper than what any of us can imagine? Let's get this ridiculous circus over with already. Francisca, you need to calm down. Because you only know the facts of the Alabastrian side of the case. I don't believe you can see the case as a whole, and therefore, solve it. Rude. But don't worry. I am taking this seriously as well, and I will prove your innocence. That's the only way to be, Mr. Prosecutor. But, can you come up with anything else that can top my hypothesis? Of course, your explanation has to solve the mystery of the moving weapons as well. Of course, and I will. Let us now delve into the truth behind the murder of Damas II. You do understand, don't you, Miles Edgeworth? This isn't just a confrontation against ancient law. If you can't figure out how the murder of Damas II is related to the smuggling ring, then it will mean the end of our investigation. As long as I have no good counter-argument to his hypothesis, then the best I can do is walk this thin tightrope and see what I can do. Come on, Mr. Prosecutor, let's get started. Okay? Probably the best, as good a spot as any to wrap up. Alright. Because tomorrow we got the 100th line. It is time for successors to Danganronpa and Zero Escape and all of that great stuff. Isomnium and there's 100 endings. There's 100 endings! Yippee, 100 line. Yep. And hooray for voice acting, so then, you know, I don't have to read everything out loud. Gonna be a lot of streams, a whole lot of them. My plan is to do the 4, because then I figure at least we'll have gotten a couple endings, and then, I mean, at that point, whatever I get spoiled for, I get spoiled for. Can only avoid the internet for so long, especially as a content creator. But I'm gonna do my best. The good news is, with there being so many endings, it's gonna take at least a little bit of time for everyone to uncover everything. So it's not like someone's gonna spoil the whole game within 24 hours. 1 or 2 weeks, someone might dig through it enough, but hopefully not. We're going back to Taki and all of them, figure out what the heck's going on. Alright, I'll see who else is. But all endings compilation will be on YouTube by May, probably. But it is what it is. Alright. Let's do something a little different. Meep, Fishing Meep, is playing American Truck Simulator. Let's go enjoy some chaos. Wonder how many hours that video will be. I guess it depends. Like, if it's an all cutscene video, would at least be an hour, I would imagine. But that will be at 7 p.m. EST tomorrow. God. Need to buy the game, also need to install the game. Coincidentally, payday is tomorrow. I assume a few joke endings at least. Apparently, they're all substantial. Apparently, they all have weight, and none are joke endings from what people have been saying. Because they based it on, apparently, the beta version of Danganronpa, where every single choice you made influenced an ending. So, based on that, no joke endings. There's probably gonna be a few where there might be a little bit of comedy, and it might, and some where things end quite shorter than others. But if, in the interview, Uchikoshi says Kodaka tasked me with making 100 endings, and they all had to be substantial and important, I doubt there's no true joke ending. Like, I don't think there's any, you know, being abducted by UFO, piloted by Shibas kind of thing. Gotta wait for your copy to ship from Asia now? Ah, true. Depending on how much I love the game, I'm sure I'll buy a physical copy at some point, just to try and preserve it, but we started the demo on PC, might as well keep going with it. So we don't lose, like, you know, the 6-7 hours of progress we have. Alright. Each region has different cover art. Oh, that's true. I'll have to look at them all. But yeah, alrighty. That is gonna be it for me. Time to go throw myself in the shower, have a snack, finish some meal prep, and prepare for 100 streams. I mean, the 100 line. I mean, sleep. So for now, that's gonna be it for me. So, the usual spiel. If it's daytime where you are, have a wonderful rest of your day. Unless you're Sete and, you know, you work night shift, in which case you're going to bed. And if it's nighttime, have a great rest when you head on off to bed. Until next time, take care of yourself. Wash your face, brush your teeth, eat good food, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.